So you can see there are many sections here. Do we need to focus on, do we need to learn what each section do? No, we will learn what required by the integrations mostly. We will learn couple of sections only. So all these things you see here, the national ID information, address information, we call it as portlets. We call it as portlets. We, in the sense, technical consultants call it as portlets or entities. We call them as entities. Whereas functional consultants, we will call those things are objects. So these two are same things. They are referring to the same thing. Now, what are the portlets or what are the entities we need to learn? We need to understand better. So I'll list them out. I'll list them what we will be using mostly and what we don't necessarily use. First one is the obviously the national ID information. Yes, we will use the national ID information, and we will use the address information as well in most of our integrations. We will use the personal information as well, and we will use the biographical information as well. And the important thing, contact information. In contact information, if I click on this edit button, we will have two options, email information and phone information. So we will use those two things, email information and phone information. That's it. These are from the employee personal details, right? So coming to the employment, what are the objects, what are the portlets we will use? Obviously we will use the employment information, which is the relation with the current organization, and the job information and the compensation information. Compensation information. In compensation information, we have two types. One is the recurring and the other one is the non-recurring. What do we mean by recurring? Recurring is of salaries, regular things that an employee gets in every month. What is the what every employee gets every month? The salary or some house rent allowances, all those things he will get monthly or frequently, right? So those are the recurring payments. And non-recurring payments, bonuses, variable pays, all those things are comes under the non-recurring section. Benefits, all those things are non-recurring. So in compensation we have two different information, two different entities. Now these are the only things you need to focus on, we need to understand, and we would be using mostly in our integrations. So if I count them, only 9 or 11, if you include these two, only 11 portlets or 11 entities we need to have an idea about, right? So these are straightforward, very straightforward. National line information, address information, personal, all those things are very pretty straightforward. Now the main question, fine, the employee ID is represented very neatly in the success factors, that is good, but the real question is, how do we fetch the data? How do we get the stored employee data? The success factors used two methods here to expose the data. One is the OData and the other one is the SOAP. So we will first try to understand the OData version. So all these APIs are exposed, all these portlets are exposed via OData APIs. So the national ID information, if you want to fetch the national ID information, you need to use an API, an OData API, right? So that OData API name is per national ID. That's it, per national ID. So everything that is related to the personal or everything that is belongs to the employee personal information will start with the PER, per national ID, and per address, but they call it as DEFLT, per address default, doesn't matter, per address. Now next thing, per personal, and for biographical information they call it as per person. This is very important. Now per email, the last one is per phone. Simple, right? So whatever we have defined in the user interface is very similar with the endpoints, API endpoints. So we also call these as portlets, entities, and APIs. So there is a famous interview question. What are names 5 OData APIs that you have worked? You should not say like national ID information, address information. No. What is the API names? Per address default, per personal, per person, per phone. You need to mention these names when they ask you for the APIs, right? So what about the employment information? All the employment related information will start with the EMP. EMP, employment. Next thing is EMP, job. And for compensation, we call it as EMP, compensation. That's it. For recurring and non-recurring, we call them as recurring. For recurring, emp, pay, comp, recurring. For non-recurring, we call it as emp, pay, comp, non-recurring. That's it. That's it. So we have the 11 APIs that we will use mostly in our integrations. And honestly, you don't need to memorize them all. You will get used to them when we're discussing, when you are building integrations with the success factors. Okay, so these are the APIs that we need to be aware of. Now, the next thing, whenever you have an API, so what is an API? What is an API? The API is used when you want to expose data from a backend system. So the backend system in our scenario is SuccessFactors. When you want to expose the data so that the other systems can communicate, can consume the data or send the data. So either way it works, bidirectional. We can fetch the data and we can push the data using these APIs, right? So to expose the national ID information, they created this API. To expose the personal information, they created this API. That's it, right? So to work with every API, any API, you need proper documentation. You need proper guidance with the APIs. What are the fields available in the API? What operations does this API support? Can I fetch all the fields, or am I restricted to fetch only couple of fields? All those things, we need proper documentation. That is called as API documentation. So where can we find the documentation for all these APIs? In SuccessFactors only. Let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this tab and I'll open OData API data dictionary. This is the first thing that we were going to look into. OData API data dictionary. So in this data dictionary, you will have all the information related to these APIs, all the information that we have spoke in this session, right? So it will take some time to load. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Now we have this data dictionary. Now where should I go? To entity, right? I said we call these as entities also. So I'll go to entity, and in this section, in this name tab, I'll search for one API. So I'll search for, let's say, national ID information API. So what is the name? Per national ID. That is the API name. Now here you can see we have the property names. These are the field names that we will use to fetch the data using the API. And these names, the label names, are visible in the user interface. You can see here. If I click on edit, you can see the country. It is this one. Where it is this one, country, right? So this is how it appears in the label section. national ID card type. This is how it appears in the user interface, but the field name is card type. So we need to pull this field to get the value of national ID card type. Now in the right section, it has some details like pick list. I'll explain what a pick list is, business key or not, nullable or not. So this business key we use to identify a record uniquely. If you are familiar with the databases, every database row, every database table should have a unique business key which is used to identify that particular information, particular table. So this is the business key. And nullable, required or not when you want to upsert it. So here we have supported operations, query, upsert. Usually with HTTP we call them as get or post, but whenever you work with OData APIs we call them as query or upsert, right? So required, creatable, updatable or not, is this field is updatable or not, upsertable or not, visible or not. So this visible will if you fetch this field card type, if it is not visible you will not get the data from that field, you will get an error. So if I sort descending or sort ascending, yeah, this field is not visible, the operation field is not visible. So if you try to fetch this field you will get an error. Why? It is not visible, it is not enabled for the API to consume. Only these fields, only true fields are enabled by the API, and you don't need to worry about it. They all the fields that you will be using in the integrations will be specified in the data mapping. You will pick those fields only, you don't need to worry about all these things. But there is this guide, you can search for this and you can find out what are the fields visible, what are the fields sortable, what are the fields filterable, is it a sensitive personal data or not. So all those things, all the related information, what is the data type of this field, is it a string, is it a boolean, is it a data time. So all these things are maintained in this data dictionary, so you can find out any information you need.